Welcome to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy is brought to you by the Oshkosh Senior Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of life for adults ages 50 and older. I want to thank you if you're watching on CD Cable Channel 10, or if you're listening on WOCT 101.9, who, by the way, has an awesome new change up in music if you haven't had a chance to listen to them. But thank you for listening and watching Senior Savvy. I also want to thank Scott Williams, who put together that new intro for us, so I hope you enjoyed that. On today's show, we're talking about seniors and pets and the role of pets in our lives and pet care in this cold winter weather that we've been having here in Wisconsin. And I got an opportunity to visit with Dr. Lowell Wickman at Badgerland Veterinary Clinic. And I also have a guest in our studio today, Jane Doherty, and her pet, Lindy. We are going to hear, in the middle of all of our pet talk, we're going to hear from Paula Seeley about February healthcare tips. So let's get started, first of all, with the clip from Dr. Wickman and the clip at Badgerland Veterinary Clinic. So we're here with Dr. Wickman at Badgerland Veterinary Care. Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm fine, thank you. Yes. So tell us a little bit. I always grill people when I first have them on the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to become a vet?
Well, I've wanted to be a vet since I was about in kindergarten. I had a neighbor that lived across the street that was a veterinarian, and I've always had pets as a kid, and I just always kind of wanted to do it. So I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream, and I've been a vet for about 22 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you have dogs or cats?
I only had dogs when I was growing up, and I think a guinea pig. I was real small.
All right.
But, I was always a dog person, but this is my cat Winky, and
Hi, Winky.
She loves attention.
She's a big girl, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yes, she's looking for a home, by the way. She's adoptable, and we have several cats here that are available for adoption. So,
all right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about pets in the life of a senior, because they really add quite a bit to the life of a person, don't they?
Yeah, we hear stories all the time, and we see it evidenced every day almost, where people's lives are enriched by their pets, and it's a relationship that goes both ways. Obviously, cats love attention, and people. It's a stress reliever for the most part to have a pet and a companion, especially for our elderly who need a companion, and they are a constant love.
Right. And sometimes even, the responsibility of a pet is actually really good, because it gives you a reason to get up in the morning, and there's something there that's bugging you to either feed me, do something with me. You can't just lay in bed all day if that's what you wanted to do.
My dogs that I have now, they get me up on a schedule every morning. And
exactly.
And when you have cats, they are very much the same, and they do provide a sense of worth, that you are important to someone.
Yes. Exactly. So if a person, has this new pet, and obviously you got to bring it into the vet, right? So what's that first visit like, or what all happens here at the clinic that you have?
Well, we see a lot of people with new pets here. We're a relatively recent addition to Oshkosh. When people bring in their new pets, whether they adopt them, which we prefer, or they buy them, or however they acquire their pets, they get a complete physical, and we look back on their previous health history and vaccination records and make sure they're up to date, and with certainly their required vaccine of rabies, but their distemper and parvo and whatever it may be. They get a complete exam from the tip of their nose to their tail, and just to get an idea of what their special needs may be, if they are, and we definitely pay a lot of attention to their oral health. Their teeth are very important, and since pets live so long, it's nice, but their lives are quicker than ours. They do live a long time, but they have needs that come up faster in their life, and it's nice to be on top of those things.
So my dog over time developed an aversion to going to the vet. Loved the car ride part there.
Sure.
But then once we got into the building, like the brakes were on, and so at least we could get him in the car to get here. There are some people who that's a challenge, even if the dog or the animal suspects it. Any suggestions or ideas?
Well, I guess it starts from the other side of it. When pets are here, we try to make them very comfortable.
Right.
We are not above bribing pets with treats, and it's one of the perks of our job, and I'm really guilty of it. I just lavish affection on these animals because You know, my job is somewhat stressful at times, so I'm allowed to reduce some stress by playing with the animals when they come in. Dogs especially come in here really excited to be here because they've been here before. They know they're going to get treats. They tell me where the treats are when they come in the door. And the cats too. We try to make it as pleasant as possible. We have them brought in. People very often the hardest part is getting them in a carrier at home. So we give advice on how to do that. We'll send. We'll often have people say, geez, I can't get my cat in the carrier, what do I do? And we'll say, well, bring the cat into the carrier when you're not bringing it to the vet. Show them the carrier, maybe feed them in the carrier, offer treats in the carrier a couple of days ahead of time so they're used to that smell and it's not such a shock to them.
So that not every time in the carrier means they're going to the vet and something's going to happen.
You know, we have a cat here that's one of our cats, our clinic cat, Timmy. He sees a carrier on the ground and he climbs right in because he has no aversion to that at all. And that, I can't expect that from every cat, but and the other things that we've done, some of our vaccines are multi-year vaccines so that the cats, although we like to see them every year, sometimes some cats it's really difficult to get them in every year, and some of our vaccines we're able to extend them out to 3 years.
Okay,
you know,
well that's
and that
nice.
does make a difference.
Sure.
And the other thing is nice is if we see the cats when they're healthy and not sick, it's a shorter visit.
Right.
It's not as stressful. They're not grumpy because they don't feel well.
Right.
And it's nice we help bring their pets in just to be weighed.
Oh,
And there's
sure.
no touching.
Right.
So it's really nice that way. It does help a little bit, and we
Yes.
encourage that. We like to visit with our patients. You know, they become part of our family
Yes.
too.
So in addition to dogs and cats, do you see any other kind of animals or?
Oh yeah, primarily furry pets. We see the small pets, the mice and the rats. We really like rats.
Okay.
They're not for everybody, but we
No, they're
really
not.
like them. Guinea pigs, like I had mentioned before. Rabbits.
Okay.
We've even had rabbits here born and
Oh,
then
wow.
adopted
Very
out here.
cool.
As far as birds go, we do see some birds for reasons of clipping their flight feathers or their beaks or their nails when they get overgrown. And then we can refer animals out if they become more involved cases, and then we can handle here. So.
Now we're obviously in your surgery room, so you do some surgeries right here on site. What kind of surgeries do you perform here?
Yeah, by far and away the most common surgeries we do is we neuter pets. We neuter males and spay females.
Sure.
And
I'm guessing you're a strong proponent of that.
Oh yes, yeah. We are. My office manager Jill and I are huge fans of adoption and then of altering pets. So that there are so many animals in the humane societies and in the shelters, and we work intimately with those places. But it's chase that problem all the time.
So if a person was considering getting a pet, can you just give us like a ballpark estimate of expenses? You know, that first year where you do have a little bit more care, and especially if you have to get them spayed or neutered and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, it really varies. If you adopt from the Humane Society, the first exam here is free.
Oh, okay.
And there are the other clinics in town, I believe, also partake in that. But that's really nice. And usually when an animal is adopted, whether it's from here, and we again want to say that we have animals adoptable here.
We're going to see those in just a bit.
Yeah, we do all of their first year work for free.
Okay.
Unless they have a disease that's unrelated, but their vaccines, their basic vaccines, are free. Of course, if a person brings in another new patient and they've never had vaccines done, you're probably talking up to a couple $100 to get everything taken care of. If we want to do the spay and the neuter, of course, that's additional on top of that. But it can be a little bit of an upfront cost initially, but as time goes on, it's not just too bad. I think that for the price of a latte, a couple lattes a week, you can take care of your pet.
Exactly,
so,
that's true. So we have had a winter that has been extremely cold. What does that mean for our pets? I know when my dog that goes out and he's old and he's having hip issues and all kinds of things. It's, he's not out long.
I realistically, pets feel cold just like we do.
Okay.
They have a big fur coat and everything, but their pads are soft and I have 3 dogs and I have to be aware when they're walking. A couple of things: ice is as hard on their feet.
Yeah.
They can get cuts relatively easily, and they do make booties that you can buy. Also, the salt that we use on our streets and on our sidewalks can really be a problem for some dogs. And I suggest people go and find pet-friendly salt products that work that way, and then try to minimize the amount that we use. As far as the cold goes, we all know of cats that really want to go outside all the time, but we really have to kind of be an advocate for them when they're not so smart themselves. And we try to restrict their activities outside. And we're not big proponents of dogs or being outside either all the time. You know, they really, I know, they really belong in the home when it's cold, because they are susceptible to the same factors we are in the cold.
Sometimes you think, oh, Mother Nature will take care of it. They'll know enough that they shouldn't stay out long. They're kind of like little kids, aren't they?
Sure they are. Sure they are. And if they are outside, it's really important that they have food and water adequately provided. And they make heaters for water. But really, again, I would stress that we really prefer that pets are inside.
Right, exactly. And so just, letting them out to do what needs to be done. But then, obviously, they come back in. Or that short walk around the block.
Yes. That's okay. Yeah,
some animals need a lot of exercise.
Yes. So we see the dogs that have the coats on, and that is beneficial in some cases. Some of especially the shorter hair coats on some of the dogs, that is a nice addition, and it is helpful to them. Like I said, there are booties available for their feet, and they do need that exercise in the winter too.
Yes.
So.
All right. Well, how about we go take a peek at some of those animals you have for adoption?
Winky, they're awesome. You did really.
All right, Bones, this is your big moment here.
Well, here we have a couple of our 11-year-old, 12-year-old male cats available for adoption at Badgerland Veterinary Clinic. This is Jingles.
And Jingles is purring away.
Yeah, you might be able to hear him purring because he's very loud. And this is Bones.
And Bones is going, what is she doing with me? He's not too sure about this whole gig.
Oh, and Jingles, we've exceeded your capacity to be held right now, huh? Yes.
So if somebody is interested in adopting a cat, and kittens are adorable, puppies are adorable, but they are a lot of work. And so sometimes if you are not really interested in all that work, an older animal is a great option.
Absolutely.
And so if somebody is interested in adopting some of these wonderful cats, what should
We're
they
here.
do?
We're at 815 Witzel Avenue.
Okay.
Right
just around the corner from the Senior Center.
Exactly. And our phone number is 233-2752. And we are available every day. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, and some Saturday mornings. People come in to visit our pets all the time. And we've adopted a couple of dozen cats out of the clinic here.
Very good.
We're very proud of that we are able to do that.
Great. So as you're driving down Witzel, just look for that great red and white sign that says Badgerland Veterinary Care, and stop on in or call and check out if you are interested in the cats, or if you're interested in pursuing a pet and finding out more information about it. Thank you so much for your willingness to share your knowledge and a little bit of stories with us.
Anytime.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So those pets that we got to see with Dr. Wickman were awesome. And again, if you are interested in adopting one, please feel free to give him a call. And I do want to thank him for letting us come into his clinic after hours to shoot that segment. Next up, we have Paula Seeley with her February health tip. So take it away, Paula.
Hi, this is Paula Seeley from the Oshkosh Senior Center with your tip for February. Ah, the joys of winter. Eggnog, ice skating, and coughing. Of course, coughing in the winter. It's cold and flu season. Hacking coughs can leave your chest aching. Allergies, asthma, acid reflux, dry air, and smoking are common causes of coughs, but they seem to worsen in the winter with our heating turning on and the dryness from the winter. 5 major tips to manage your cough during the winter. 1 is to stay hydrated. When you have a cough, it'll thin out your secretions, stop some of the post-nasal drip. Another tip is to try lozenges or hot drinks. Sometimes that can kind of clear up some of the coughing. Another quick tip to coughs is taking a steamy shower. Right before you go to bed, coughs seem to worsen at night. A nice steamy shower helps hydrate, again, your lungs and your tissue, and will close down some of the coughing at night. and removing irritants in the air. Perfumes, scented bathrooms, oh, it smells so nice to have those nice little scents in there, but sometimes that's what's irritating your lungs, and that can cause to that funny, dry, hacking cough. So again, watch what you're using in your bathrooms for cleaners without having windows open. You know, if you get to a point where you're taking medications, make sure you're not diagnosing on your own. If you've had a cough that's lasted longer than 2 weeks, you should be calling your provider's office and asking if there's anything else you should be doing. So that would be your tip for February. Thanks so much. This is Paula Seeley from the Oshkosh Senior Center.
You can reach the Oshkosh Senior Center at 232-5300. At the Oshkosh Senior Center, we help you to stay active, stay social, and stay informed. I love those health tips from Paula. They sure help us to get through these winter months in terms of what to do for what. Now, I'm happy to introduce to you my guest for today's show, Jane Doherty, and her dog, Lindy. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Jane and Jane. Exactly. So, of course, the show we're talking all about pets and the importance of pets in our life. And you have a little bit of a story to tell about your pet, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And of course, now that the cameras are rolling, guess where she went?
Behind the chair.
Behind the chair and underneath. So let's see if we can't draw her out. Come on out, Miss Lindy. There she is.
Her own entrance.
Yes. So tell us about this little girl right here.
Well, Miss Lindy, and her official AKC name is Swing Dancer.
Wow.
Swing
there you
Dancer.
Go. Hey, Swing Dancer.
And the way it came about is in December 2010, my 15-year-old Sheltie needed to be put down.
Oh, hard times
Yes,
of life, aren't
yes.
they? It's
that's-
terrible.
And being a pet owner, that's something that happens.
Yes, it is.
And I didn't think I would get another dog. I thought I'd just leave it be. Okay, get down, honey. So in August, I had to put a cat down.
Oh.
And then I started thinking about, it would be nice to have a dog. The cat was company and entertaining,
Sure.
but a dog is more interactive
Right.
and responsive, and I
Right.
thought it would be fun to have a dog.
Sure. And that's actually, one of the big benefits of pets for seniors is that interaction to help combat the loneliness or, just to have that companionship, and it's something that needs your attention.
Right, the interaction and
Yes.
immediate response,
Yes.
responsiveness.
Yes.
And I hesitated about getting another Sheltie because I thought that would bring up too many memories. And people
right.
had suggested that I get a different breed dog. And so I started thinking about what kind of breed attracted me.
Sure.
And there were different breeds of Bichon, Ocelopsu, Shih Tzu, Pekingese. And then I remembered seeing this breed of dog on the Westminster Dog Show. That
Okay.
was on television.
Now, not being familiar with breeds, I would say, oh, she's a poodle. Do you get that often?
Sometimes, yes.
But she is not.
Not a poodle. This is
No.
a Bedlington Terrier.
Okay.
But I didn't remember the name of the breed. I just remember the announcer doing the dog show under the terrier breed, that it was described as looking like a lamb and the body of a whippet, which is like a miniature greyhound,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
And I didn't know the name of the breed. And actually, it was a couple of days later, there was a picture in the Oshkosh Northwestern, and it was a snapshot of a dog groomer in Belgium grooming her dog for a dog grooming championship
Okay.
in Germany. And there it said Bedlington Terrier. So I knew what the breed was.
Sure, sure.
And then I went to the internet and started doing research about the breed, the characteristics.
Sure.
And then I clicked on the link for Wisconsin breeders.
Okay.
And I found a breeder, Jackie Vogel, in West Bend. So I called Jackie and introduced myself, and I
Sure.
explained that I wasn't interested in a puppy.
Okay.
See?
So, right, because puppies, they're a lot of work, aren't they?
Yeah, that chewing
Yes.
stage
Yes,
and what have you.
exactly.
So I told her I didn't want a puppy,
Mm-hmm.
but I would be interested in an adult dog.
Okay.
Do you have any adults? And Jackie responded and said,
Guess what?
guess what?
Right.
I have 2 females that were show dogs, and she used for breeding,
Mm-hmm.
and she needed to retire them. There was Lila and Lindy.
Okay, and very neat. So how old is Lindy then?
Lindy is 4
She's 4. And how long has she been with you at this point?
since October.
Okay, so about
October,
yeah,
November, December,
few
January.
months.
About 4 months.
Yeah. So tell me about, that first day you brought her home.
Well, the first day I brought her home, and a good thing about Lindy is she lived in a kennel, in a boarding facility. And in that facility, there were 2 or 3 cats that roamed
Sure.
the
Yes.
facility. So she was used to cats.
Because you have cats as well,
And
don't
yes,
you?
I do.
Yes, you
And my
talked earlier.
cats were familiar with Brittany, the Sheltie I had.
Right.
So when we came walking in the door, I have Frank and Ted, and they came running to see what was going on and
Funny.
stopped in their tracks and stared at her like, "Who is that? What is it?"
Oh.
And immediately they got along. There was never any hissing, growling,
very good.
paw swiping. It's just like she's been in my household all her life.
Wow.
And it's that way today. They
Very
just
neat.
yeah.
Very neat. So how much does she weigh about?
About 19 pounds.
Okay. And she's obviously full grown because
yep.
she's 4 years old.
Right.
And so every day, do you guys have a routine?
Very much so. I made a commitment that I have a rolling walker, and that enables, because I had back surgery a couple
Okay.
years ago, so it's difficult, but I didn't let that stop me from having the companionship
Sure.
of a dog.
Sure.
And so twice a day, usually about 8 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I am able to take her for a pretty good walk.
That's
And
fantastic.
like I said, rain, shine, sleet, snow, 20 below zero.
Exactly, which I think we're pretty close to today
That-
with wind chill. And you said earlier you guys went out for
Went
a
out
walk.
for our walk. I bundle up,
Amazing.
and in the colder weather, we make it a shorter walk.
Yes, yes.
But you talked about the social interaction. When we take her for a walk, a lot of people will stop and ask me, "What kind of dog is
Sure,
that?"
sure.
So it's a tool for engaging in conversation,
Right.
and it gets me out of the house and accountable
Right.
for taking her for a walk.
Right. So does she kind of have a clock now where she knows, oh, it's
It-
just about walk time, Mom? So
Yes, yes. And I know the breed, it was described that the Bedlington Terrier could be very active, or some owners
Okay, sure.
indicated that their dog was a couch potato. So I was lucky to get the couch potato.
Exactly,
She just zones out, and
exactly.
she likes to sleep on the couch or look out the window and see what's going on. And she interacts very well with the cats that I have.
Right. Well, when you look at the whole picture, okay, the companionship, the getting you outside walking because you know that she needs the exercise, and you benefit from it as well. When you were thinking about it, going to the library and reading up and researching and stimulating your mind and all those other things, the social interaction that has happened because of her. You shared a story about, seeing the woman walking with a dog like this on the street, and you pulled your car over and said, "Hey, excuse me,"
Yeah, that's part of the story, because actually I was doing my research on the computer at the library, and there's a particular route that I take to go home. But this day, for some reason, I turned right instead of left. And it was a zigzag course to get home. And in my peripheral vision, I caught the profile of a woman walking a Bedlington Terrier in Oshkosh.
Now, are they fairly rare in the
I
area?
believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
In fact, the veterinary clinic that I go to, they hadn't seen one.
Okay.
So that was a
I'd
new
never even really
experience
heard
for
of the
them,
breed before. So,
And she's a very calm and, just seems to kind of go with the flow kind of girl, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Very nice. And she doesn't shed much?
She's not at all.
Shedder?
Not at all.
Very nice.
And hypoallergenic.
Okay. Okay, so in case person has allergies or asthma or any type of that lung stuff, this
Right.
type of breed would be a good
Good
fit.
and because she does not shed.
Right, right. And because you had done your research and you really knew what you were looking for, what you could accommodate in your life with using the walker and stuff, you didn't need a dog who was going to be pulling you over as you
Correct,
walked down the
correct,
street or
correct.
whatever. And, like you said, having one that was just a little bit older, so you're not up
Rather
3
than the
times
puppy.
a night. Yes,
Yeah.
puppies are adorable and kittens are adorable, but they're a lot of work. And so you said that Lindy and the cats get along just fine.
Very well, very well.
Very nice.
I might add that in this process, after losing a pet, it's been my experience in talking to people, the response is that they've lost a pet and they never want to go through that again, so they would refrain
Yes.
from getting another cat, another dog. But the thing is that a pet in your house can be a blessing.
Yes.
They provide, you love the pet and the pet loves
Yep,
you.
exactly.
And so that allows us to be caretakers. And as an alternative, if you were hesitant about getting another cat or dog, the Oshkosh Area Humane Society
Yes.
is an excellent resource
Right.
that you can go and visit the pets there, or they need foster homes.
Right.
So if you didn't want to take on a dog
Long
full
term,
time,
exactly.
24/7,
Right.
you might be able to foster
Right.
a pet for a while.
Right. Well, Jane, I want to thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank
and
you.
for sharing Lindy
Lindy,
with us and
yeah,
telling a
she's
little
a
bit about her
sweetheart.
story and what she all brings to your life. And
A lot of joy.
a lot of joy.
I would
Yeah.
say she brings joy and a sense of vitality.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Thank
Okay,
you again.
thank you.
And thank you so much for watching Senior Savvy. We hope to see you soon at the Oshkosh Senior Center. Have a great day.